Hello everyone, I am Ashwini Saurabh Mitras from Department of Statistics, RBNB College, Srirampur. Today we will see the topic correlation, which is included in the second semester of first year BSc. So let us start with the concept correlation. Sometimes the two variables are interrelated and we want to study the relationship between two variables. So the concept correlation is used, and the definition is, the correlation is the extent of linear relationship between two variables. So this is the definition of correlation. There are some examples like marks of a student and intelligence quotient, or we want to study the relation between the rainfall and agricultural production of a year, or height of father is related to height of son. Height of son is related to height of father. So these two variables are interrelated. To study these relationships, we will study the topic correlation, and here is the definition of it. The next definition is bivariate data. In order to study correlation, we require the data on two variables. Let us denote that variables by x and y. And we have the data on these two variables. So there are x1, y1, x2, y2, and so on, xn, yn. So there are n pairs of observations on x and y, and these are called the bivariate data, which we will use in obtaining the correlation. Now let us see the types of correlation. First is positive correlation. The variable x and y are said to be positively correlated if increase in value of one variable is associated with increase in the value of other variable. So here we can see there is a relation like increase. So if the value of one variable increase, the value of other variable also increase, or if the value of one variable decreases, then it is associated with the decrease in value of other variable. So if there is such a relation, we say that there is a positive correlation between these two variables. There are some examples like income and expenditure of a family. Suppose x denotes income of a family and y denotes expenditure of a family. Then we can see that these two variables are positively correlated, because if income increases, then expenditure value will also increase. So the data, if we take on x and y, it will show the pattern like this. So these two variables are said to be positively correlated. The next type of correlation is negative correlation. So if the value of increase in one variable is associated with the decrease in the value of other variable, then there is negative correlation between that two variables or vice versa. So we can write in this way: increase and decrease. So there is one example which is X denotes supply of a commodity and Y denotes price of a commodity. Then we can observe that as the supply is going to be increased, then price automatically decreases, or as supply is very less, then price will be more. So these two variables are related such that value of one variable increase is associated with the decrease in other variable. So there is a negative correlation between these two variables. Then the third type of correlation is no correlation. So if the given two variables are not related to each other, then we say that there is no correlation between them. For example, suppose X denotes the marks of a student and the variable Y denotes his height. So if we take the data on these two variables, then it will show that there is no relation between these two variables. So we say that there is no correlation between them. The next point is scatter diagram. So we have studied that the two variables are either positively or negatively correlated, or there may be no correlation between them. So this scatter diagram is useful to observe or visualize the type of correlation between two variables. So this is a judgment method only. We can just visually say that which type of correlation is there. So there are some steps. The first step to draw scatter diagram is take one variable on x-axis and other variable on y-axis. Then next step is plot these points. Which will give us the scatter diagram. So note that this is only judgment method and we cannot get any numeric relation between the two variables. So let us see some scatter diagrams. Suppose if we draw scatter diagram like this and it shows the pattern between x and y with a increasing straight line, then we say that there is a perfect positive correlation between these two variables. If the scatter diagram shows the pattern like this, so it is a decreasing straight line, then we say that there is a perfect negative correlation between x and y. Also, if the pattern is increasing but not in a straight line, then we say that there is only a positive correlation between the two variables. If the scatter diagram look like this, so there is a decreasing pattern but we cannot draw a straight line through them, then we say that there is a negative correlation. So here, by just visualizing the plot, we make a judgment about the type of correlation only. Let us see some more scatter diagrams. Suppose the points are scattered on a graph in a random manner, so it does not shows any pattern. Then we say that there is no correlation between x and y. Also, if we plot a diagram and it looks like this, means one variable is a constant and value of other variable is going to be increased, then we say that also there is no correlation between x and y, like that. So here the value of x is a constant and y is going to be increased, then also we say that there is no correlation between x and y. Also there may be this situation. So here we say that there is a non-linear relationship between x and y. So there is non-linear correlation between x and y. So these are some scatter plots. Now let us see the merits and demerits of scatter diagram. First is, it is easy to understand. It is simple to plot on a graph paper, and it is not affected by extreme values. Or extreme observations. So these are the merits of correlation. Now let us see some demerits. First is, here it does not give any numeric value which will show us the relation between x and y. Then next is, it is a subjective method. We require only quantitative data to plot the scatter diagram. And the last one is, it is not drawn for qualitative data. So here are the merits and demerits of correlation. To overcome the demerits of scatter plot, we use the next type to measure the correlation, which is Karl-Pearson's correlation coefficient. And to study it, first we have to learn the covariance concept. The next concept is covariance, or we call it as a product moment. It is called product moment because the definition of covariance is given by like this. So covariance between x comma y equal to 1 upon n into summation of xi minus x bar into yi minus y bar, I running from 1 to n. So this is actually mu11, that is for bivariate data. We calculate this central moment by putting r equal to 1 and s equal to 1. So this is mu11. So it is called the product moment. Now we can solve this formula for simplification. So summation of, let us multiply these brackets, xi yi minus xi y bar minus x bar yi plus x bar y bar. let us take this summation sign inside. We have, so summation of xi yi minus y bar into summation of xi minus x bar into summation of yi plus n times x bar y bar. Here y bar is a constant for summation, also x bar is a constant for summation. Now we know that the definition of x bar is 1 upon n summation xi. So we can write summation xi as n into x bar, or we can write summation yi equals to n into y bar. So let us substitute this in here. So summation of xi yi minus, here it will be n into x bar y bar minus n into x bar y bar plus n into x bar y bar, which will get cancelled with 1. And finally we have, after multiplying this constant 1 upon n, we have summation xi yi minus x bar y bar. So this is the simplified formula to calculate covariance between x and y. We can use either of these formula, but for simplification we use this formula. Let us see some remarks. So first is, covariance between x comma y can be written as covariance between y comma x. Then covariance between x comma constant or constant comma y, so it will be 0. The reason for this is, we can observe here the first variable minus its mean and second variable minus its mean. So we know the property of arithmetic mean, that the expectation of a constant is a constant itself. So if we substitute in the formula of covariance, then we will have its value as a 0. The next will be, it is mu 1 1. So covariance between x comma y is a mu 1 1, means a product moment, that is 1/1 moment, central moment for bivariate data. It is denoted by 1,1 central moment for bivariate data. So let us see some properties of covariance. First property is, covariance between x comma x equals to variance of x. Let us prove it. So covariance between x comma x, by definition it is written as 1 upon n into summation of first variable minus its mean and into second variable minus its mean. So here the two brackets get multiplied and we have bracket square. We know that this is the formula for variance of x, that is sigma x square. So this is the first property of covariance. The next property is effect of change of origin. So if we have a bivariate data on x and y, and if we take this variable u and v as x minus a and y minus b. So we have changed the origin of x by a and changed the origin of y by constant b. We know that u bar is x bar minus a and v bar is y bar minus b by the properties of average. Now by definition, covariance between u and v can be written as 1 upon n into summation of first variable minus its mean and second variable minus its mean. Let us put all the values of u, u bar, v and v bar here. We have xi minus a minus, this will be x bar plus a, and yi minus b minus y bar plus b. So here the constant will get cancelled and finally we have yi minus y bar, which is covariance between x and y. So here we observe that there is no any effect of change of origin on covariance. Let us see whether there is the effect of change of scale on the term covariance. For that purpose, which is the next property of covariance, let us see u equals to suppose x minus a upon h and v equals to y minus b upon k. We know from the properties of average, u bar is x bar minus a upon h and v bar is y bar minus b upon k. So by definition of covariance, again it can be written as 1 upon n summation of ui minus u bar into vi minus v bar. So let us put all the values of u bar, v and v bar. We have this. So 1 upon hk, which is the constant, and into this is covariance between x and y. So if we substitute all values, then the constants a and b get cancelled, but the constants h and k will come outside the term covariance. So here we can observe that covariance is affected by change of scale only. So in this way, we have learned today the concept of correlation, types of correlation, and then the term covariance and its properties. In next lecture, we will study Karl Pearson's correlation coefficients. Thanks for watching me.